Natividad. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Cateside Press.
Hello, Kevin. So we see that you are in your hotel room. Just quite bluntly, is everything going okay?
Everything's going great, honestly. I kind of just got still waiting on my test results as well.
All right. I mean, look, obviously you're taking this fight with Brian on short notice. What's just the last few weeks, the few days since you got the phone call been like?
Well, since I got the phone call, it's kind of just been it's been a little overwhelming in a good way. Like I'm kind of just eating it all up, but we just struggling to get all like medicals and everything in and everything I need to do. And other than that, like flying to Vegas, this is actually my first time here. It's been great. Like I'm just excited.
I gotta ask, is it a little anticlimactic your first trip to Vegas and it's under the circumstances you can't really go out and, see Vegas, so to speak?
Just a little bit. I've been hearing a lot of things. So I'm from Hawaii, and everybody says it's like the ninth island, and I really want to see if that what everybody says is true. So yeah, it's a little bit anticlimactic. I just see Vegas from my window here, and I can't really see much more than the freeway. So
Gotcha. Well, I do hope you'll be able to get out there. Can you talk about what your training situation was like? I know you did fight for LFA, during the pandemic when they came back. So can you just discuss your situation back home in camp?
yeah, so we kind of have a really small group of people that we train with. Keep it really like limited to avoid any like risks. So it's just been like me, my brother, Christian Natividad, who also fought on the LFA with me that night. Cedric Katamba, he helped me out a lot. And two other guys every now and then, but we've been able to train at different times, kind of off hours when the gym wasn't open. And we were able to stay in shape and everything, still use the facility. I've been training, doing all of our sparring, all of our grappling, all of our conditioning, even a little bit of road work when nobody was around. So we've been doing really the best we could to stay in shape just in case anything like this would happen.
Gotcha. Understood. Two final ones. What is your assessment of what Brian Kelleher brings as an opponent?
I believe Kelleher to be very well-rounded. I believe he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a solid wrestler, and he's very active as far as striking on the feet. And that's everything I want for a debut, especially considering he's had like 9 fights in the UFC already. I used to watch him before I even, first fight I remember him from was when he fought Keenan Barao, one of my favorite fighters from way back when. And now me realizing that I'm about to fight these guys, it's crazy. It's a dream come true almost.
Final question. Under the circumstances, the pandemic, short notice, he's a bit of a vet. What would it mean to you to go out there on Saturday and get that UFC victory?
It would mean beginning for me, honestly. I told everybody that it would mean a lot in terms of like what this does, but it's just the start for me. Because when I told everybody I wanted to get to the UFC, I told everyone I wanted to take my time, take the fights one at a time, and once we get in, we're just gonna come in and take over. I'm really excited for this bout, and once it happens, you're gonna see me like slowly climb up to the top, hopefully one fight at a time.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Jay Anderson with Stateside Press.
Thanks very much. And, Kevin, welcome to the show. A couple of questions that I've got for you. You mentioned, obviously, your Hawaiian roots. And, fighting in Hawaii goes right back to like Rumble in the Rock and BJ Penn. And, then in the newer era, Max Holloway. Who are some of the guys that you looked up to? Was it the Penns and the Holloways?
It was definitely BJ and some of his brothers that I've seen. I haven't met BJ actually. Just Jay and JD, everybody else, but seeing them and even Max, like especially Max actually. Like I remember watching him back when he used to fight in some of the local shows back there, and seeing him like get to the UFC. I remember when he fought Dustin Poirier. It was like, if you work hard for it, you could definitely get there, So Max is definitely one of my heroes there too. And even some of the guys that I trained with back home, like some vets from like old UFC way back, like Ronald John. Like I looked up to him a lot too back then. Like, and even some of the jiu-jitsu guys that I trained with back home, like Barrett Yoshida and all those guys. It's crazy. It's still surreal to me.
When you were coming up, I mean, it's hard to imagine that anyone expected to make their UFC debut in these circumstances with a pandemic and the quarantines and everything. But when you did picture finally making it to the big show, was a short notice fight something you always kept in mind? Were you thinking maybe you go through the Contender Series? How did this look in your head?
Originally, I thought I would get through the Contender Series because that's kind of the image my coaches kind of got me through. But honestly, I was ready for whatever, whenever. I stayed ready just in case anybody would pull out. I think I mentioned it a whole bunch, like on social media. I was just like, yo, give me a call here and there, even for other local shows and everything like that. I just wanted to fight. But for the UFC, like, this is, especially during the pandemic, it's definitely an interesting little situation. I really thought I was just going to get through the Contenders, but I'll take this too.
Absolutely. And, you mentioned the Renan Barão fight that Brian had, and he made his own debut on short notice as well when he beat Alcantara. When you look at something like that, do you just think, hey, look, he did it, now I'm coming in, now it's my turn?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I mean, when, especially doing the sport and everything, aiming to get to the UFC, like, if you don't think you could beat anybody at any time, like, then why are you trying to get there, Like, I think I can fight anybody at any time. Like, I normally fight at 135, and I've gone up to 45 for this one. I mean, I know he's a bantamweight too, but if it was Brian Kelleher or even like Tony Ferguson or anybody, like, I would have took the fight if they offered it to me.
Great to hear, man. Love the outlook and looking forward to your debut this weekend.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you.